practice in Bucks County, I shouldn't be able to go file a lawsuit, a personal injury lawsuit in Philadelphia and try to get jackpot justice because the jury system there might be better. Where I can't file in Pittsburgh. So I've been meeting with doctors, and this is what they bring to me, story form. And I say to them, listen, how about if we pass this, what's called Certificate of Merit? I'm not trying to get too wonky, but saying, you know, to make sure before you file a lawsuit, you have to have an independent doctor say, listen, this isn't some BS, I'm sorry for the language, some not true, you know, a false claim or something like that, okay? And so secondly, and having a nexus, so again, they have to have an expert to agree that it's with merit. It's not a jury trial. It's allowed to go forward. And secondly, that it has to be a proper venue. So, but I support that, man. But
I'm glad you're doing it.
I do. And I'm looking at you and I'm telling you that.
I would save billions and almost trillions of dollars in this country.
Right.
And I know obstetricians have gone out of business.
And I'm trying to partner with them.
They can't pay orthopedic surgeons, neurosurgeons can't pay their insurance because that's so terrible.
No.
And there's nothing heard of. We know about
I know.
it. No to this.
Okay. But we passed it. I'm telling you what
But
passed
it's
up.
a mandate that's going to destroy
And I will take
our free market system, and that's loaded with mandates in there. If you read it, you make the hair stand on the back of your head as far as, and one of the things in there is that they're going to know your financial system, and electronically they can get your financial bank account. That's scary. That should frighten the hell out of everybody in this country.
Can I
answer that? Answer that one.
Can we work together, you and I?
Yes.
Right? I'm going to give you, let's point out the section. I just want to make sure, I'm going to point out the sections of where that is. Now let's work together and I'll make sure that I'm
read it, black and white.
I'm not challenging you. I'm not challenging you. But I just want to make sure that I'm answering, you know what I mean, on the story form, but on that, and I'll work, because I want to make sure, listen, I wasn't a fan of No Child Left Behind because I thought it was taking education away. It was taking, basically training students to take a test versus education. I want to make sure, and this is what I pledge to doctors, I want to make sure that they can go back to the practice of medicine, not the business of medicine. And that's a philosophy that I'm sure you and I share, and I'm trying to help out the doctors on that, okay?
Every doctor the same amount of money from the government to make practice there. A neurosurgeon goes through 20 more years before he's a neurosurgeon. And a GP, that's not fair. You destroy the specialist in the world.
We have the best World Health Organization. I won't agree with you. I'm going to answer no one's question, but I just want to make sure that I answer your last point, okay? That there is, but under Medicare, it is, they do provide more money for specialists and stuff, and it's strengthening Medicare, which is the whole point of this. But it's unsustainable. One of the bills that I want to make sure that I was for, though, that I partnered with a guy, he's a Republican, Mel Martinez. He used to head it was called the RSCC. He was head of the Republican Party in the Senate side. Him and I partnered together because I'm a former prosecutor, okay? Because there is some fraud, waste, and abuse within the system, and I'm trying to crack down on that, okay? So I just want to, and I'll partner with you on making sure it's not over, the auditing system isn't mandating them to do paperwork and paperwork for patients, but we'll work together on that, okay? All right. I just want to make sure, Rob,
Okay, you said two things that are not quite accurate. One is that single payer is something where the doctors are employed by the government. Single payer is mostly discussed where doctors would function just like with Medicare, which is a single payer system that we already have that works great.
It's broke. It's out of money.
Most people.
She's a nurse. She can tell you.
Hey, guys, time out a second. Time out.
I got plenty of chances. I'm American.
Hey, time out.
Stop with the stupid signs.
Let him answer the question.
Let him answer the question. Okay? He's criticizing me, so you should be happy, by the way. Okay?
Yeah, he's criticizing, saying you're not doing enough.
Let him answer the question.
Let him talk. Shut the hell up.
Let people talk. I'm scared. Doing a good thing there.
Good. That's two people you pissed off.
You would want to know.
Obviously you don't.
Hey guys, come on, I want to hear what he has to say now. Let's all be respectful.
He's using profanity back here, and I don't appreciate it.
What profanity? Come on, guys.
He's using profanity, and I don't appreciate it.
I'm looking at one of you. Please call him. Please.
And he just went, okay, I say,
I'm trying.
we're trying, okay, I understand.
You want to find out what's best. But there have been some studies that show that single payer actually saves money. One study showed that, and this was a while ago, that it could save over 10 years $1 trillion instead of costing an extra $10 trillion. why you can ask as a member of Congress to have the budget office come up with an estimate. Why don't you do that? And this ties in with another economic issue. I'm a small business owner. I have employees. I know that if we have single payer in this state, it will cost me less money and my employees will have better coverage. I know that we have a problem with the insurance industry now, partly because they couldn't compete with other countries where those other countries paid for the health care, whereas in our country, the automobile industry had to pay a fortune for health care. That put them at a disadvantage, and now it's killing them. And now we're paying tens of billions of dollars in just to keep them alive. Part of this is about protecting American industry. And you said it, you would never have a system that was not with the private, with corporation, corporate health care. But you also said that it's better, our military is better run by the government. Maybe it is better. Why don't you look into it and have that study done?
So again, I'm not against the study. I'm willing to read anything, and it's not me to say, I can ask for it, a study. But I'm willing to, Rob, and I just want to make sure it's like, why don't we study how single payer run systems in America? Why, according to Rob, she thinks it will save $10 trillion, whatever.
$1 trillion over 10 years, and there's $1 trillion we're going to spend extra.
Okay, but again, I don't think we can afford it right now. In my reading, in my analysis, but Rob, you gotta let me answer the question, okay? I don't think we can afford it. I don't think those savings are there right now, but I'm willing to study it. I keep an open mind on both sides of these things, okay? My answer to you is that I don't think we can afford it. I will also say to you, because you took a shot about about the cars, is that, to me, the car manufacturing America, we need to create things in America, and that's how the service-based economy. We need to create the windmills in Bucks County. We need to create the solar panels in Bucks County. We need to have steel, you know what I mean? And part of it is manufacturing cars in America. Now, why is that important? Why does it relate to national security? I'm not trying to talk or repulsive talking points, but I want to be clear. The reason why manufacturing is important and to have the auto industry in America is because, what happens if, God forbid, we go against China or another country and we need to mass manufacture tanks and airplanes and other things. We can't get rid of automatic. And so, listen, I'm a fool. It broke my heart, to make sure that we're putting out billions of dollars for auto, insurance and not Ford, but GM. Well, let me tell you something. It was, we spent $787 billion to jumpstart our economy so we wouldn't fall into a great, we were in the worst economy since the Great Depression.
No problem.
The worst recession. And so I had heartburn, but I voted for stimulus package, $787 million. And of course, the people who criticized me had no problem spending $3 trillion in Iraq, but, when I spend less than $1 billion in America. But part of that
shouldn't be spending any of it.
Some of that stimulus funds was this Cash for Clunkers program. Mike Schmidt, and I'm going to keep it short. Mike Schmidt was the greatest third baseman ever to play baseball. I'm making an analogy. I don't want to, right? He said playing baseball in Philadelphia, it's the only place in the world where you could have the thrill of victory and the agony of reading about it the next morning in the paper. The Cash for Clunkers program, they turned around the auto industry. They sold 500,000 cars when it was implemented. They made a profit for the first time in 2 years, and then they criticized me and saying, you voted for, I did vote for, I was proud to vote for it. But then they say, how can we spend basically $2 billion under the stimulus funds that we allocated for this? It was because it was putting Americans back to work here in America.
But it lasted 2 weeks. What's it going to be in a month?
$500,000. $500,000.
It lasted 2 weeks. They blew